we just got first documented of humpback whales. Two male humpback whales having sex.
Gay.
The only sighting of these whales ever sexually was gay.
It's gay.
No.
Yeah. Turns out the camera was just pointed into my bedroom.
Don't let doubt enter your mind. Seek and ye shall find. Hit it hard like a bad girl. Power on. Hit it hard like a bad girl. Get it done.
Hello.
Hey everybody.
Welcome back to
Breathe If You Agree.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Julian. And welcome to the podcast where we aim to make it feel like you're FaceTiming your best friend.
Do you see it? Do you see me? How do I look?
We're besties.
Yeah, this week, like every week, we're going to be getting into our hot takes. We're going to be talking about pop culture, what's going on in the world. Isn't it scary?
Talking about our personal lives and the hellscapes they are.
And we just want you to remember that there's always a seat at this table.
Always,
you
baby.
You can sit with us.
You can. Oh my gosh. Regina George who?
Me. I'm a bitch.
Love ya.
We are so excited about our guest today. We have a wonderful person with us. She is celebrating 2 years of girlhood. Her new single, Days of Girlhood, it just dropped. Super exciting. She's an MT star, an actress, an icon, a trailblazer, our very good dear friend, Dylan Mulvaney.
I struggle to hear nice things about myself like that.
Well, by the way, that was a very shortened list of what we could have said.
Thank you, but that was really nice.
Get ready for the next hour. We're about to shower you with
This is
everything
gonna
in
be rough.
compliments.
Well, can I give you 2 compliments?
Oh, I mean,
I'm not going to say no.
Okay, I think, well, it's funny because you both, what you've done online and outside of the internet, I think is so incredible, especially for, like, we're all very young and it's like doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
And Julian, like, I just like watch every video you make, and the effort and the details you put into things is so insanely like brilliant and minute things that people don't pick up on.
Thank you.
And then Nick, like the fact that you've taken what I think a lot of us on the internet have done and want to do, and you're actually doing the damn thing in Hollywood is so exciting, and it gives people like me hope, because it's like, oh my God, we can do both, and there's a way to like succeed online and to like be the person in Hollywood, and you're killing it.
that's so sweet.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That means truly the world, because you have taken the world by storm.
Thank you.
And I know it's not been like the most easy. I know there's been a lot of roadblocks, but like for us, you are somebody who truly is like creating a path and trailblazing for not only the trans community, but the LGBTQ plus community and just the community online, and educating and inspiring. And it's really special to have you here. So we're really
Thank you.
thankful.
I'm so happy to be here.
So it's been a big week for you.
Yes.
How are you feeling? How's it going? Obviously, we will get into the specifics of all the exciting things happening, but how are you doing right now in this moment?
I feel good. I was really hungover yesterday.
Okay, good, as you should have been.
But it was funny too, because like I think I was going for so many weeks that like yesterday was the first day after the music video came out, and after my event on Tuesday, which y'all came to.
Yes.
I like actually was able to be like and just like relax and take a second. And it was my manager came over and we talked about like I struggle sometimes with the long, bigger picture stuff because we've been conditioned to believe everything needs to be instant, and like you have to pop off every single day, and it's always, you know, the next best video and the next best outfit. And so it's nice to have like a conversation about like the bigger picture things.
Yeah.
And I think I'm someone who like, when I feel really, really busy or overwhelmed, I start to disassociate and don't really feel like I'm in my body. And right now I feel so present and like really good and happy.
That's so good to hear.
Well, we're so happy that we get you at your birthday.
Yes. And the show the other day, so Dylan had a show celebrating the 2 years of girlhood, and it was so amazing.
It was incredible.
Because you opened with your new single.
Days of Girlhood. It's out now. You can stream it. The music video is incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, star-studded cast.
We
gorgeous.
did. We got Gigi Gorgeous, which was like everything I needed and more. She's like the OG doll. Viandre, who's another trans friend of mine from the internet, and Heather Dubrow from frickin' Real Housewives. and Lauren Gray, who was like one of like an OG TikTok star. And it was funny because when I was like putting the video together, I was like, oh, do I want to like go for like kind of the cool edgy actress route? And then I was like, no, let me lean into like these like amazing people from the internet. And I think sometimes being from the internet, there can be like a level of shame there of like, oh, you know, it's even like I'll read comments if I'm on a red carpet and they're like, what's she doing there? But I was like, no, we need to lean in and support each other and like use each other for our projects. And I think that it was such a fun group of people. And in that song, like honestly, like I hadn't really been doing my Days of Girlhood series very often anymore. I kind of like had put a pause on that just because of all of sort of the backlash from conservative extremists. And the song was just like one sort of like kiss to like the good that came from that series and like reclaiming the happiness and like the celebration of femininity, because I kind of felt like when everything went down last year, I didn't have ownership of like all the things that I had done. And I felt so shameful over how people were interpreting me and my content that I kind of like hid. And this was a way for me to be like, no, I'm back, bitch.
By the way, that all came off so clearly.
Yes.
And see, also just so at the show, this incredible show, Dylan came out. She was on stage. She was performing the song that was the first time live.
First
correct?
time live.
And my God, superstar.
Yeah.
Okay, singing and dancing is very difficult at the same time.
Well, you killed it.
You slayed
You
it.
did kill it.
Now, I know you've done some like stage shows now.
Yes.
How do you feel about like the multitasking of like performing like that?
I love it. I mean, we both studied musical theater.
What's confusing though for me is like I don't remember musical theater being like I haven't sang and danced at the same time in a while. That is like it's crazy up how hard it is to do.
Yeah.
But for some reason singing like pop music makes it harder in a weird way. Like
Totally.
I was like, why is this difficult for me? And now I think that we should start sort of a workout class like Legally Blonde, The Search for Elle Woods, where people work out and sing
On
at the same
bikes.
time.
Yeah.
I think that like that would be such a fun, like especially in New York, somewhere in theater where you could like belt it out while you're on a treadmill or something in a group setting.
I mean, working out at my house, that's like the best part about it is singing. 'Cause,
Really?
like,
You already do that?
oh my, well, I mean, on the treadmill.
Shark Tank, here we come.
You can't tell me
Yeah.
that I'm not Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
The live Sweetener tour, me on the treadmill, like I am in the stadium.
Wow.
I'm like, London, let me hear your scream. Here we go.
I mean, by the way,
Going.
that's better though. I go to like a public gym where there are like hundreds of people around. I'm so bad. Even also, I go on so many walks and I can't not at least mouth the words. So I look like an absolutely crazy person when I'm at the gym and I'm just like, it just and ever. I mean, I think people think I'm terrifying, but yeah, I mean, you killed it. And
Yeah,
so,
thank
you know,
you.
I mean, you know it so well too from like your musical theater training. I mean, do you guys see that as different? But it is. You're constantly hitting the mark. You're singing the songs. It's exhausting. You're sweating bullets.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pop star fantasy is so different from music theater because in that I feel is you're in character and like a kind of, I guess, pop performance as well, but like theater, I think it like works around the choreo.
They plan like, okay, here's the dance break, and
Yes.
here's the moment where you're like actually singing or you're acting, and then for some reason though, with you're like pop star and you're like supposed to sound so good and then look sexy at the same time and like suck in your stomach and like hold yourself this way, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the am I doing?
Yeah, they're like hair flip here and like pop here, and then you like hit the highest note you can.
Yeah, none of those people are thinking about singing like
No.
while they're
Right.
choreographing.
Totally. That's the biggest thing I would say. Yeah.
But
like, working around it.
our mutual friend Nick Laughlin
Yes.
did choreograph the music video and direct my stage show, and so he comes from the musical theater world.
Yeah.
And I think like having those like Broadway girlies and anything that I do is like so helpful because
Yes.
they get it.
They get
Yeah,
it.
totally.
Yeah.
And I know he art directed or
Oh yeah, creative directed the whole music video, and I think it's so funny, like just bringing people from my years past, like especially before even knowing me, Nick like really believed in me and my talents, and so now to like get to work with people as I'm growing and succeeding and bringing them with me feels so fun.
Yeah.
And I love like holding tight to my like group of people that
Yeah.
I knew from before. Yeah.
And that's where me and you first ever
Oh,
met.
yeah.
Was on music video for Y2K for Alaska Thunderfuck, and directed
That is
by
crazy.
Nick Laughlin
Yes.
as well.
And that was the first time I actually met trans women in real life.
Really?
Yes, Aris and Lademi were
Yeah.
on set, and I got to talk to them about like hormones and like this. I was identifying as non-binary at the time, but I knew I was going to be transitioning, and it was so like crazy to actually be on a set with like trans women, and that was a huge turning point for me. Where I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. So yeah, big day.
And it's a beautiful video as well.
Yeah.
So
It's
fun,
so
Alaska.
fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Y2K, like, how could you not love it? That's like our, like, huge
Well, I
thing.
mean, look around, honey.
I know, seriously.
Here we are. And speaking of pop stars, having dinner with Lady Gaga last week. Can you talk about that?
Hi, Gaga.
Hi, Gaga.
So she was the only she was the only woman on my vision board this year. She carried over from last year. She followed me like almost 2 years ago. And she was sort of this like fictional character in my head at this point because she'd be like commenting on my things.
I was gonna say that's when I first saw on TikTok she like replied to you
Yes.
or she also posted and I was just like,
And, like,
oh my
is this
god,
really her?
Right. I was was it? Oh my god.
Yes.
I also love that she's behind her TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
she is
Yeah.
scrolling.
Yeah.
Because I also, when I met her at her house with her, her boyfriend was like, oh yeah, like we see your stuff all the time. We're like scrolling in bed. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so like probably 2 weeks ago, I get this random invite, then like maybe 2 nights before that was like, come learn about some sort of photo medicine event at Gaga's house. And I was like, well, duh.
Yeah.
And then picking out an outfit was tricky. But I kind of went for like the Vegas residency vibes because I do know she loves old Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do associate Gaga with like, you know, crazy, like, you know,
Right.
just like
Neat
edgy.
dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think of her as so Hollywood glamour. And I think that might be one of her favorite kind of moments to live in too. And it was like, the house is very far away. It took me like almost 2 hours to get there, worth every second. But
Yeah,
then
of
as I was getting closer, I brought my friend Lily because I got a +1, and we were like, what the hell are we about? You know, who's going to be? We had no idea what we were walking into.
No clue. Do you even know if Gaga's gonna be there?
We did. I mean, it said her name on
Like
the
a night with
invitation.
her, okay.
But we walk in, and then we're in her backyard, and it was this like built this beautiful structure to for this very intimate dinner of guests. And I didn't recognize too many people, but that some of the House Labs team was there, and we go in and like we're kind of like at the bar, and she walks up to me, Gaga, and she goes, I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I have known you my entire life.
You're like, I have. Yeah.
And she just like it was so insane because I'm standing there with her, and there was no level of like, oh, this person's up here and I'm here. It just felt like a friend, and there was so much love there already. And I really think what's so special about meeting like your role models is when they actually do like exceed your belief in how amazing they are. And then we essentially like had this dinner. I sat next to her dad and her mom, and they were so lovely and kind and so New York.
Yeah.
And then after her manager was like, hey, we set up a little photo shoot in the living room if you're down to do some photos. I was like, yeah.
Yes.
And so we did these photos, and then I posted one for International Women's Day.
Yes.
I guess some people didn't love that. And Gaga then texted me, I think the day before she posted a picture of us, and was like, hey, I just wanted to see if this was okay with you. And I was like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because last year when so much of like my sort of, I don't even like to call it controversy because I don't believe that I did anything wrong, but a lot of very hateful people towards trans people tried to, you know, kind of attack the community. I never expected anyone to like stand up for me or to, you know, I never want to put that onto anyone. And so when she posted that, it was like, you know, I already have healed so much from everything that's happened. And I think it was like the greatest little gift that like little Dylan could have ever gotten because that was my person growing. Like that was my like, my biggest role model. And then to have her say like, hey, this isn't okay how you're treating this person and how you're treating their community. that was like, oh, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Having her stand by us was everything. It was really exciting.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Lady Gaga song?
Oh my God. Oh, well, Joanne, I've been listening to a lot lately.
Love.
I love Pinot Grigio Girls. Joanne, the album is like kind of my favorite. And I also, Never Love Again from Stars Born. That one gets me to cry every time. What's your favorites?
Oh, I have Speechless, Judas.
From A Star Is Born, mine is, why did you do that to me? But then I would have to say, I love Summer Boy, like OG. I love Teeth.
And
So good.
I love
Monster.
hair. I was
Yes.
gonna say talking about. Oh my God,
Actually, I think I dyed my hair blonde like when that song, like around that time that song came out, and my mom made me dye it back 3 days later. I did look bad, but it was the moral of the story. I was like,
I just want to be free. Yeah.
and I'm like a 14-year-old little gay. It was so crazy.
But I'm loving, talking about the blonde, I'm loving the blonde so much. You look so slay, it's crazy.
On stage,
like, I love it.
Watching you, it really
Did she
is.
look good?
Amazing. You look and you look incredible.
Angie, you eat every single time.
Angie,
you killed it.
You,
because
4 + 4 = 8.
Yeah.
Mama.
Right before you went on stage, I was in the bathroom.
saw
I
me.
ran into you, and I came out from the bathroom. I went up right to Julian. I was like, her hair looks amazing. I said the same thing. I was like, her hair is incredible.
And the hair that you took the photos with Lady Gaga. I love when you do that
the long 60s kind of bump
I love
vibe.
it with the headband.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love when you do 60s
Retro
hairstyle.
is the vibe.
Yes.
And
Because you're very vintage.
So much so. And I
Yeah.
think there's like, everyone has their thing. And I think like what I'm realizing too is like, because I'm trying to be an actress right now, trying to get booked as somebody who's on the internet can be a little tricky.
Yeah.
But a lot of these actresses don't really ever change up their look at all.
Yeah.
And I like, I'm like, next. I
can
love
do
to try.
anything.
I
Yeah.
love to the fun of like, why would you just do the exact same thing every time? But I think cohesively, I love to live in that like 60s realm.
Yeah.
And what would you say your styles like are? What's your...
I mean, I'll go first. I'll get it out of the way. I'm bad. I'm very, it's so funny. I feel like I've tried so hard for years. I'm like, I want to be like a very stylish person. I want to like whatever.
great.
I'm very just like put together. That's kind of my thing. It's very simple. Even this is like, whoa, he's wearing
color,
yellow.
yeah.
But I've never like, you have much more of that. And I've always tried to like break out of that. I've always put myself in uncomfortable pieces of clothing or senses of style that are just not me. And I feel I'm really happy in the comfort of what I enjoy.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, though. Like wearing clothes that make you feel comfortable. Because I know you too, like living with you, and also like if there was ever like a costume needed or something, Nick, I think doubts himself the most in these clothes because like he looks so good, but it's like it's a personal preference, like a personal style. But I love when Nick explores because it's really fun.
Maybe a little bit more a little bit this year.
My personal style, I would say it changes a lot. There's some days where I'm like femme queen and like really serving. And then other days I do like to, like be slick and mask and just like very fluid within the fashion world.
Yeah.
Because some days like you do want to wear what's like walking down the runway. And then some days like I want to wear jean shorts and Uggs, and that's my style.
And it's so funny because sometimes when like I'm the least put together, but like in like jeans with like no makeup on and like a white t-shirt, I actually feel like so femme because there's like I'm not like trying to put anything on. I'm not trying like, and a lot of times I'll get hit on when I
remember
look
that
like
video that you talked about.
Like where I'm like walking down the street. It happens a lot, and it just happened. This past weekend at TSA pre-check is when I usually like look my worst, and this guy in front of me asked for my number, and I was like, this is the last place. And TSA pre-check is my worst because, well, not pre-check specifically, just TSA, but usually if I go through that scanner thing, they're still having to do a pat down or whatever. And so I got through it. They were like, you're cleared. I was like, yes. And then this guy was like, can I give you my number or whatever? I was like, what the hell is happening?
What's going on today?
But I think that like it's fun to be able to play between the mask and the femme.
Has your style I guess generally the first year versus the second year.
Oh yeah.
Is style, life, whatever. I guess what are kind of now that you're entering we're technically entering the third year now, correct?
Yes,
we're
so
in the
I guess
third year.
what did the first year look like for you? What did the second year look like for you? What is what's to
well,
come?
I would say the year before so I'll give you the entire fashion update. So went to Catholic school as a kid, and I had like my dad loves Costco. He's obsessed with Costco. It's an addiction. And so like all my clothes came from Costco for like many years. And then I remember specifically we're in San Francisco, just me and my dad on a little trip. And there was an Abercrombie that we were walking by.
Did you smell it?
Well, I was like, oh. And then he was like, oh, let's go in. And so we go, and it was Abercrombie, not Abercrombie & Fitch, when it was just for the kids.
Yeah. Okay.
And I looked, there was like a sweatshirt, and I think it was like maybe $80 or something. And I remember distinctly that I was like, oh, it's too expensive. And he's like, no, just get it. I'm like, no, this is too much. And he's like, come on, let's get it. He created a monster in that moment because then I got all everything. Abercrombie. And then I went to Catholic school during the day, so I'd be in uniforms. And then in high school, I finally transitioned to a public school for the arts. And so I got to wear whatever I want. And I started working at Brandy Melville. Do you know that clothing store?
Yeah.
So I was wearing all like women's clothing basically. And I'd be in these like, I had a Michael Kors purse as my backpack. And like I would wear these like little tights and like logo shirts that said like oh my God, like tan lashes, like money, like things like that.
Yeah.
And then I would cake on like sort of like orange MAC makeup because I'd be too nervous to go to the MAC counter and actually get like my proper color.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot going on there, but that was when I really wanted to like transition, and yet I didn't feel like I could. And then musical theater, I was like doing still throughout my childhood and then into my adult years. And when I went to CCM for musical theater, I sort of knew what I needed to do to be successful at it, which was to be the Book of Mormon boy.
Yeah.
And so I bought a bunch of J. Crew and a bunch of polo shirts, and I, slicked my hair in that way. And I like let go of all that. Well, I brought a few women's clothes to school, but I knew that like, okay, if I want to do this as a profession, this is how I have to look. And transness just didn't feel like it existed in theater at that point. And then at school, I kind of had that J. Crew thing going. Same thing on the Book of Mormon tour. And then when I came out as non-binary during the pandemic, I started wearing sort of like all these crazy, like bright colored, chunky knit sweaters and barrettes, and I was growing my hair out. And it kind of like, I was dressing like a freaking like, kid that ran into Limited 2 and got to like pull everything in 60 seconds. And I didn't really know what it was, but I just wanted color. It was the first time I was wearing like color in my life. Yeah. And I really feel like every stage has directly correlated to like my feelings and how I want to show up in the world. And then early transition days, I would say that first year, I found that sort of like Audrey Hepburn thing. And it made me feel like that was the most beautiful version of femininity and class. And then I would also, just played with the like pink. That pink was something I never could wear growing up. So it was so exciting. And it was my favorite color. And I couldn't say it was my favorite color till like 2 years ago. And then this past year, funny enough, because like Day Through 365 happened last year. And then the media kind of started attacking me, and I started expressing it like through fashion because I couldn't tell people how I really was feeling. So I would, wear these tiny little outfits or just a bra or no pants and, like Julia Fox eye makeup. And because I was mad at the world.
Right. Yeah.
And then I dyed my hair blonde because I needed to change something about myself. And now I feel like I'm leveling out to like feeling like I can go between hot girl and sort of that Audrey still.
Yeah.
And I think also being so young and like 27 right now, I want to be able to wear all the outfits. Not that you can't wear hot, sexy outfits when you're 50 or 80, or I think that's epic when I see like the grandmas on TikTok that are like, look at my bikini. I'm like, okay, yes, I love this. Yeah. But I also am like, okay, let me wear those things now. Yeah. So I make sure that like I feel like I got to experience that. And yeah, I think that's where we're at right now.
I love that. I actually like so relate to, because in high school when I came out and I went to a performing arts high school, I started wearing like everything that I couldn't wear before. I was wearing spandex. I was wearing like dance belts all day, like American Apparel, like really short, like everything, glitter, headbands, like anything I could put on. And that was like such a expression of something I've never been able to do before. And I like loved it so much, but it evolved, you know, it was like, oh, I felt this, I can do this, but exploring more to not only use your fashion as like an expression of yourself, but also like to speak without even saying words, you know, like, and that's super special. And I love that you relate to fashion in that way too, because that's like so sickening.
So true.
It's so cool.
So you're coming out of your second year of girlhood.
Yep.
What are you looking forward to next year? Are there any, I mean, obviously any projects, any things that you're really wishing to accomplish next year?
I think I'll have a book coming out next year. Maybe a podcast.
Okay.
We've got some scripted things going on. I'm writing a one-woman show right now.
Amazing.
We'll be there.
That I'm trying to get back up on stage because I think being in LA, I've realized that like TV film takes a long time to make and it's a lot of effort. And right now, transness is so polarizing that it's hard to find the people that really want to stand by a trans performer, cast them, you know, put a show out with trans talent. And so I know I can do theater, and I know that as much as commercial theater and especially Broadway isn't the safest place for trans people right now, I know that like if I make my own thing and I can find somewhere to do it, and that feels like the win for me. So everything that I do this year, I want to make sure that like it is by my own volition. I'm not having to completely put all of my hopes and sort of like feeling submissive to someone else. I want to feel like I have power and that like I can make things happen.
Yeah.
I think also I would love to like fill out my life outside of career stuff. Really hoping to date this year, and that's starting to get better.
Oh, good.
I would love to do like maybe I want to go like maybe to Thailand and
Travel.
Some travel.
Yeah.
Where do y'all want to go right now?
I want to go to Australia. I went with my family when I was like young in high school. So I was like, you know, doing everything with my family. But I want to go out. I want to go to Australia, New Zealand, and just like experience. That's like number one right now for me on my bucket list.
I definitely want to go to Japan. I just want like otherworldly. I want to go so badly. I want to explore like every single different city. I want to enjoy the food. I want to experience the culture.
I want to go with you.
Let's go to Japan.
But I want to find somebody to pay for it because it's very expensive. I've heard to get there.
It's insane to get there. And also, I mean, I think once you're
I'm coming too.
Yeah, you're obviously coming too. You can be one of our tour guides.
Okay, perfect.
I'm dying to go to Japan. I also like very much. I love animals, and I want to see them in their natural habitat. I really want to go on a safari.
Yes.
So
I'm obsessed with
badly.
animals.
I want to see, I mean, I would be like a little afraid, I think, of just, you know, a lion coming up to me and I'd be like, hey girl, what's
I don't think they're coming.
What's your favorite animal?
Yeah, my favorite animal? I'd say, honestly, I love a dolphin.
Oh,
I love a dolphin. Also, just dogs in general. I love dogs. I know that's kind of.
I'm a cat person.
Oh, you're a cat person.
Yes, we're getting more into dogs. We're working on it because LA is such a dog place.
It is very
But I used to have a show on TikTok called Interviewing Animals with Dylan before Days of Girlhood.
I remember with the chick. There was a chicken episode, and there were goat. There was a goat episode.
There was a lot of different. I used to farm
for your birthday one year.
Yes, I went to. I used to sheep herd during the pandemic. And then I had a viral video of me and a bison like eating bread out of my car. And so I was like, well, I got to make more animal videos.
Yeah.
So I started driving around to all of these different like animal wildlife parks and like making content with animals. It's just a very tricky thing to like what a niche, you know, finding a different animal every day to interview is,
also,
and they don't talk back.
Yeah. Also getting the animals to fall in line. Okay, guys, we're filming in 5. Can everyone calm down?
Energy up. Energy up.
You never know what you're gonna get. I did get one time though, because I used to make stuff at the San Diego Zoo. I had a bird that would talk back. Like it was one of those like talking birds. And I was like, this is the best episode ever. And that was the first one. And then after that I was like, oh, we're screwed.
Yeah.
tricky.
And also this week, we just got first documented of humpback whales. Two male humpback whales having sex.
Gay.
The only sighting of these whales ever sexually was gay.
It's gay.
No.
Yeah.
Turns out the camera was just pointed into my bedroom. The way I was sitting, it looked like two, but it was just me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
And then how? Okay,
How did the world react?
No, I was gonna say, how does that work?
Maybe I
thought I could take some big ones, but not a whale cock.
Oh my god,
Kim Petras, I want a whale cock.
I have no idea how that works. All I know is that, of course, I saw it in the news, and I was like, a win for us.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll take anything we can get right now.
Totally.
We need more wins for gay people.
Truly. It's also it's so funny. I feel like a constant discussion is, there are however many species in the world, and every single one of them, it's like it's not just a female bird and a male bird, whatever. And I did. This was an exciting way to open that conversation back up and be like, see, this is what we're seeing.
And I love when the birds, like the male birds, do the feathers and the dance that take
usually
the female birds.
Well, and the female birds are usually not as showy.
Yeah.
It's always the males.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
That looks like such an exciting year for you. And I feel like those are all absolutely, first of all the things that are concrete, but there are so many opportunities that will be available to you.
Thank you. Yeah. And I firmly believe in vision boards, and a lot things already I checked off the Chris Colfer duet.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That was crazy.
Incredible.
Tell them that was incredible. Yeah.
So essentially, Chris was on the vision board this year because I wanted to sing with him. Growing up, that was the only television character that I could even relate to, and it wasn't even a trans character, but just seeing femininity on screen like that. And we first met at the Bros premiere a year and a half ago, and he had no idea who I was because he's not on TikTok. And then we drank that night. We had so much fun together. We exchanged info, found out we live really close to one another, and then we've now hung out a bunch of times, and finally I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in a place I can ask him to sing. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we rehearsed the night before. So I did, before the show, get to actually experience it. It was the most out of body experience to be sitting because also I feel like our voices can sound a little, or we sit in that mixy spot. And I also remember growing up, my voice teacher would only let me belt. He would never let me go into that mix, but I'd be like, but Kurt Hummel can do that. And so I can too. And so it was such a full circle moment. And then for the show itself, I was asking him when was the last time you've sang live? And he said the Glee tour 12 years ago. And then he did maybe 4 years ago do something for PBS. But he is now this incredible author and doing all these other things. Yeah. And so I just couldn't believe that he was willing to do that for me. And we're gonna have a beautiful video and everything to post.
Well, I know. I mean, by the way, he looked like he was having the time of his life as well.
Yeah.
Truly God. Watching you guys together, it was beautiful to watch. Oh, sorry. You guys holding each other's hands, singing together. First of all, I'm shocked that you guys haven't known each other your entire lives. I mean, I know that you've known him.
Yeah.
But just seeing you guys together and performing, it felt so natural. It also just kind of felt like this beautiful, intimate moment to be watching you two together doing that.
But I'm telling you, all of my favorite things and favorite people, all the things I ever wanted happening. I'm like, what show? It feels like I'm on a reality show sometimes. And then there is still some darkness that happens. And so I was like, okay, this definitely offsets that back to a neutral place. But I feel like every time I go oh, I peaked, or this is the best it could ever get. And then there's something else. So,
and if you could put into words, having that experience, inspiring these people and these artists who have inspired you and so many and us growing up, how does that, can you put that into words? How does that feel to inspire the people who just have inspired you?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe I'll look back on specifically, especially my series where I was talking so much about my identity. Maybe 20, 30 years from now, I'll be able to look back and understand that was important, or I don't know even if that will be possible, but right now I'm still living it. So it doesn't, there's not enough space there yet.
Totally.
But God, I can't even believe it's just, it's such a gift.
Yeah, it really is.
Do you feel like you're often able to remove yourself from? Do you feel? You were saying that you feel like sometimes you're in a reality TV show or something like that. Does it feel like you? I know you're saying you're present now. Does it feel like you're able to turn off? Do you feel like you always have to be on? Is that?
No, I think that there are people that expect a certain level of like energy from me, or, but I know that like I'm just being me. I'm so camp, and a lot of people aren't used to that, and that's where I think a lot of extremist media really portray me to be this sort of like F slur, you know, when like I am so inherently just like gay still, like literally, like I am a woman that is so campy and like high energy, and we exist. Like I think I've had to really work through the shame of that, and so now some people expect that from me all the time.
Right.
But I also am growing up, so I'm not quite as like, I don't know, cringe, but I think that people just have to let me get through those awkward phases. Like Our Lady J, who was accompanied me in the show. She's a good friend of mine, and she was saying like, watching my videos like in the early days, like it was almost like that movie 8th Grade, like because it was like you're watching someone like through these really awkward moments where you're like, oh, love her.
Yeah.
And I look back at these and I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? But there's still a level of like, that was not a character. That was just me wanting to show up in the world, so excited to finally be myself.
Well, and that's also so indicative of the human experience. I mean, I think anyone looks back on their past selves and they're like, oh my God, this is so awkward, or like that poor guy, or yada, yada, yada. I think it makes it like I think of myself when I watch like my old videos, I'm like, oh, no, poor
Where
guy.
are you
like,
at now with like sharing?
It's so funny. I stopped. I stopped like two-ish years ago. I think for me, I mean, I'm back on now a little bit more. We're doing this like public facing thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think it got to a point where and I think that it's an interesting conversation that's happening a lot in media now and content creation, and especially with younger people. There's a lot more people who want to be in content creation. I started it kind of as like a fun thing. I was posting, comedic videos. It was never for me. It eventually became a thing like, oh, maybe I can make this turn into a job. And I'm so glad that I was able to. But when I started it, it was a fun thing. I was just posting on the internet. And then I got very anxious at many times about it. It just felt like I wasn't doing enough, or I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't funny enough. I felt, and mind you, the amount of people who have access to me compared to you is minimal.
No, but still anyone can look you up and find you.
Right. And anyone can say anything they want to about you. And I have not experienced that nearly as a level of either of you have, but just it started really getting to me. And I think I did a lot of it during COVID, and then I took a break because I was just like, you know what, this is not good for my mental health.
Yeah.
And it became, I was still on, but it became an indefinite break. And I think I was also still getting so many messages like and it was showing exactly that. It's like, where are you? Like, put out more, yada, yada, yada. And it felt good. I feel more comfortable getting back into it now, but I do think that there are sometimes, and I know that you've taken a lot of time off of making some videos and stuff. I think it is healthy to take a step back and be like, this is just not, it was not good for me. It was driving me really.
And people
difficult.
are never going to say like, take a break.
Right.
Like your audience wants more.
Right.
And that's okay because they want that, like they want their entertainment, but they're also not going to shame you into like, you didn't make a video today, And what about you? Do you feel like, because you get to use a lot of existing kind of material so there is some safety in the fact that like it's not your actual personal life, but how do you feel about personal life stuff?
So personal life stuff has always been something I kind of like steered clear of. And that was another reason like we both wanted to do this podcast as well, is to like share that side, because online I have, and we all have, created a space where it's our own space and like what we do. And like you said, like the lip syncs and recreation are only like, again, starting as something fun and sharing the love for the art through the pandemic was really important to me to bring joy to others. And now it's tough because I still love to do it. I don't have any regrets, but I do think my Saturn is returning. A couple episodes that I didn't know exactly what that meant. And then I learned it. And then Ariana's album came out. And then I'm 29, I'm turning 30, which is when Saturn returns. So it makes a lot of sense. I've just been really inward about it because, like you said, it's hard to celebrate the little wins when you're like looking side to side or scrolling and you're like, well, why didn't mine, what did I do? What did I have before that I don't right now that this isn't popping off? And then, I've been trying to incorporate some writing of mine, which has been really special. But on that front, it's like, we want the lip syncs or we want that. And I'm so appreciative of everybody who supports the videos and who supports my writing and things like that. It's just hard because I sometimes question, I almost feel like I gave up on something else that I worked my whole life for, and it makes me sad sometimes, but I do think...
What is the thing that you gave up?
Just like the dream of Broadway and like theater.
It's still there?
Oh, definitely still there. I just think like as time goes and being so online and worrying about the next video and if it's going to do well, and if it doesn't do well, it's like, okay, what am I doing next? Or like, how can I do that with still being the most authentic version of myself? Because I have tried to like share personal things online or like tell funny anecdotes or something like that, and it just doesn't work as much as like a casual conversation like this. So I love it. I think we're still finding our path like every day. I still don't know where it's going to lead, but I'm so thankful for the opportunities that it has brought.
That path might be a freaking circle because I find myself like the sort of more success I found, the more I wanted to come back to the things that I started with. Yeah. And like theater, like that's home for us. And so sometimes I think we have to go home and hit the refresh. So do theater.
Yeah, I know. Theater and acting and everything. I know it's there, and creating our own. It just can be...
Until AI figures out how to
literally
do a Broadway musical.
Everything.
It can be lonely though. Like social media definitely is.
But then we have friends. Yeah. Like that's the thing too, is like seeing all of us like in real life and that we're tangible is so epic and important. I think that I'm so grateful to have people that I can ask questions. Like Chris Olsen is like a dear friend of mine. And he was sort of like the first person that was viral that I then was connected to. And I was like, oh, okay, I can ask this person about this. Or it's just, I think you have to have someone or else you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nice to have, I mean, obviously to have those people who ground you, but also people who kind of understand what you're going through.
Period.
Again, very thankful for you in that category as well. So.
Dylan, it's been so fun to talk about all of your dreams. I mean, first of all, you are living the dream. Does it feel like you're living the dream?
And a nightmare.
Okay.
But a dream too.
What a perfect game.
We just want everyone to know at home that we did not know she was going to say that.
Beautiful nightmare.
So thank you for introing a game that you did not even know was going to happen, but we're calling this Dreams or Nightmares.
Oh, bitch.
So we have some hypothetical situations that we want to ask you. These are things that we want to make clear. Some people would definitely think these are dreams, and some people would definitely think they're nightmares. And we kind of want to hear.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go first.
First
okay.
one.
You find love on Love Is Blind, but when the gates open to reveal your new fiance, they look like an ex. Is that a dream or a nightmare?
I don't have an ex like XX, but also I would never
Strong
do
start.
Love Is Blind. I don't think, but. A dream, because maybe since I don't have anything to compare it to, at least I found someone.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Can I ask you, what is your like dream partner look like?
Oh, that's so fast. It's changing every day. I picture really long fingers that like plays the guitar and then like journals in the morning before I wake up like drinks like really dark little espresso cups. Maybe like a few little line tattoos, and then someone who just like really knows how to like be the big spoon. That's what I want.
Love that.
Yeah.
That, by the way, I can picture that person. That's a good description.
I love the specificity.
I know.
That's like so fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually people are like tall,
No.
hot,
No.
no.
You have the chance to have sexual intercourse with your celeb crush, but it's in public.
Oh my God. Honestly, dream.
Yes.
Because here's the
Yes.
thing. If I'm having sex with a celeb crush, that just shows that the trans community is supported publicly and that they are attracted. Like, we all know, like, people are attracted to trans people. They just don't want to talk about it. So say that, like, this happens publicly, people will know.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, my poor mom. I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. But yeah, let's do it.
But let's do it. A dream.
Can
Absolutely.
I ask who your celeb crush is?
I have like 29.
Okay.
And,
Top 3?
well, this is what's crazy now. I feel like I'm around all these people all the
and you
time
can't, like,
now.
say them
Yeah.
anymore.
And it just feels weird.
Yeah.
But no, I can't. I'm sorry.
no,
No,
please.
by the way, I would not be surprised. The rooms you're entering, I'm sure there's a lot.
Because I'm trying to see if anything's bitten me in the ass like that before. No, we're
Yeah.
okay.
No. Love it.
Next.
Okay. Oh,
I'll say Zac Efron. That would be one.
that's a great one.
There's
Good
one.
work.
I haven't seen him around yet. What's funny is that he doesn't have any line tattoos probably, or like long fingers, or plays a guitar. So that's just like a High School Musical Dylan sort of phase.
We love.
Yeah.
Nick, we played a game called Marry or Ghost, and Nick actually ghosted Zac Efron.
Oh my God.
It was Pedro Pascal and Jacob Elordi, and so I had been thinking a lot more about those men recently. Not that but if I had the chance with you, Zach, baby, call me. But no, I would not normally ghost him. But in that moment, I did.
So I'm just trying to
You're
tell
trying to-
Zach that me and Dylan are both available.
yeah.
Love.
Nick's out of the question.
Okay, you're invited personally by Beyonce to listen to her latest album and give her notes. Dream or nightmare?
Give her notes? Do I have to give her notes?
Yes.
Nightmare. Nightmare.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, if I could go in there and just be like, honey, you did it,
Yeah.
like, would a dream.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to note Beyonce.
Well, let's be clear. Beyonce, really, there are no notes.
There are no notes.
There are no notes.
We have no notes.
Could you imagine?
This is probably the most hypothetical situation that's ever existed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so you can eat your favorite meal, but it's the only meal you'll ever eat again.
Oh, well, it's probably the Trader Joe's gnocchi.
Okay.
And I
thought-
eat that every day, essentially. Or, like, I could do that. I only eat, like, 3 things. I eat the Trader Joe's gnocchi. I eat Trader Joe's fried rice, but it's a Japanese fried rice. And I eat Domino's pizza. But it's the deep dish pan.
What about the cilantro or the
Chili lime chips?
chili
But,
lime
honey,
chips?
that's not a meal. That's my snack.
Okay, good. Fair.
And
Honey.
I can make it into a meal.
I would actually
enough.
dip it in queso. The Tostitos cheese is very good. But I could eat any of those for the rest of my life. It's a dream.
I love that. Okay, dream it is. You marry into the royal family, but you have to take an oath of silence and never touch a mic again.
Could you imagine
No.
me, a princess
Yes. Yes.
You are a
that
princess.
could never speak?
You're a
Yeah,
queen.
that's hard.
Hell.
Hell no. Hell.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
Are you
nightmare.
kidding?
Yeah.
I actually, this is going to sound crazy. So I remember when Meghan Markle was going to say inducted into the family, but I went, I could do that. I was like, that could be me. And then watching her, like, such a kind person, sort of just watch the media just
Yeah.
like eat her
Tear her
alive.
apart.
I was like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's so funny how in our minds we think well, I know that this is probably really crazy and hard, but I could do
do it.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Were you silent or were you silenced? The
I was
forever
silenced,
question.
yeah. But I won't be silent ever again.
Good.
I love a mic.
Yes.
That's why we have 3 on this table.
It's my favorite.
Tap tap. Okay, well, Dylan, we have one last thing that we want to do while you're here.
Yes.
We have a tradition on this podcast where we want to, give you your crown.
You've actually been nominated.
You've been nominated
and
for an
you
award.
won an
And you
award.
For what?
You are Breathe If You Agree's baddest bitch.
No way.
And this trophy, this is a replica of what Dylan wore for
Days of Girlhood.
Days of Girlhood
No
show.
way.
Yeah.
How did you pull that off so fast? Oh my God. And you picked the good picture.
You look wonderful.
I got the
So
recent.
thank you for being our baddest bitch. Now please give your acceptance speech.
Okay. So being called a bitch is something that originally I thought was a bad thing, but now I believe is a good thing, as is being called mother. And I really, I think if this is what being a bitch is, I'm okay with it. And I want to thank my two very good friends here for bestowing this title. And hopefully nobody thinks I'm a bitch in a bad way, but hopefully a bad bitch in a good way.
By baddest bitch, let me tell you what we mean is that you continue to be yourself and share your story and use your voice to push forward not only, like I said before, not only social media, but the world that we live in today. And by baddest bitch is that you continue to do that while facing the hate comments, the hate from people, everything. Just let us live.
Let it be.
Like, that's what we mean by baddest bitch.
I cannot wait to put this on my fireplace mantle and just people go, wow, that one is really special.
Yeah. I've never heard of that one before.
Who made?
Julian
I
did.
did.
Julian, I mean,
You're
he's
very
our,
creative.
very
thank
creative.
Thank you.
Of course.
Wow.
It was a skirt in the top from your opening.
You really, like, that
And
was
the
a
white
quick
boots.
turnaround.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, Dylan, thank you so much. This has
I
been
love
so
you both
special.
so much.
Thank
Also,
you so much.
I would just like to give a call out. I did leave the pins in my hair on purpose. And if anyone's watching this and being like, actually, this is good clickbait. You know, people are probably going to comment and say, somebody didn't tell her that her pins are still in her hair. It's on purpose.
It's on purpose.
No, you know what? We're going to see it. It's going to be a trend. And you know what?
Yeah.
Casey Musgraves
that's-
left hers
Yes.
in on accident.
Oh my God. I know who we have to talk about for 1 second.
Yeah.
Chapel Roan. Do you
Obsessed.
follow?
Yes.
Obsessed.
That wasn't a big enough confirmation
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
For me. That is going to be the pop star of our generation.
Yes.
And she just did, I think it was the David Letterman show, and she had all these like curlers in her hair and
Yes.
shit. And I was like, that's the glam. Like you getting in and then like leaving the curlers in was so fun.
It's amazing. And you look so beautiful. So if anybody has anything to say, watch the out.
Don't say it.
Because I'll come beat your ass. Because Dylan might be the baddest bitch, but I'm still a bad bitch.
Yeah.
It's on site.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan, thank you. Thank you
love
so
you
much.
both so
Obviously,
much.
if there's anything...
Let everybody know. Obviously, people know where to find
Yeah,
you, but
everyone-
let us know and
we know
plug
where to
anything.
find you.
Let us know too about where everyone can donate the Trevor
Oh my God,
Fund.
Trevor Project. It is this incredible organization. I've been working with them for now like 2 years. And essentially it's crisis services for the queer youth. And I just think like we are in like such a dark time where like queer kids are being expected to stand up to these bullies and expected to get through this at such a young age by themselves. And so they have to have the help and support. And so I think they're amazing. And you can go to trevorproject.org and donate there.
Amazing. Yeah, and we'll put a QR and put it in the bio as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, loves.
And also, please listen to Days of Girlhood. It's
These are
phenomenal.
the days.
These are the days. These are the days of girlhood.
Oh, question for you.
Yes.
So there's a line, Saturday we flirt for drinks, playing wingmen to our twinks. Do you consider yourself a twink?
No.
Interesting.
I don't know if I fit a category.
I'm called a twink a lot, but I try to work out so much so that I could be a twunk. So I'm,
You are.
I would say you're a
can see
twunk.
Thank you. I'm not.
I would say you
You're a
are.
twunk.
You
Okay,
already
you're
are
a
a
twunk.
twunk.
You heard that? You heard that? Those people in my comments
I, like,
calling me a
really,
twink.
like-
You're giving twunk.
I'm giving twunk?
You're giving
Yeah.
twink too.
Okay,
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
What did you think before?
I don't know. I never really like categorized myself. I never thought I really like fit like otter or twink or bear. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm
Yeah.
still like growing into that.
yeah.
I think like this is the time for twinks to rise.
Okay,
Yeah.
word.
Like-
Well, there was that article in New York Times like 2
Was
years
there?
ago. Like it was like the rise of the twink.
Yeah, and what did
no.
they say?
It was just it was like 60 twinks next to each other, and then it was 2 sentences. I was like, "Where's the rest of the article?"
It's all
As
we
skinny
need.
as a twink. That's where it was.
And I would just like to say I put that in there as a term of endearment.
Oh, yeah.
And as
No.
an ex-twink, I was the twinkiest
Yeah.
of them all. I think it's still I have the right.
Oh, I think it's a
think
compliment.
twink is like bitch. It's like it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
We're
It's a
good thing.
owning it.
We're owning
Let
it.
us all
Yeah.
be twink.
Let's
Yeah,
do
let's
it.
all we're all twinks.
We love it.
Oh, and lastly, just really quickly, I am a writer on a wonderful Apple TV show. It's called Loot. The 2nd season premieres tomorrow, and I'm just, tune in every single week. We're so excited.
And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the Past Your Bedtime YouTube channel, and you can stream it on Apple Music or Spotify as well.
yeah.
Anywhere you can stream it. So can't wait to see you next time.
Love ya.
Bye.
Like a bad girl.